Hello learner. Today we will like to discuss on origin of English language, which is the a paper of phonetics. The first unit which is talks about origin of the language. So here are the question how they are asking in university. Discuss the process of development of English language or write a detailed note on the origin of English language. So, what is the intro? Let's see. A language is a medium of expression. Only human being has a system and well-developed language to express his feelings, idea, emotion, etc. Language is a system that took thousands of years to be developed. One more thing about the language is it is always change with the passing of time. Let us explain the story of the origin of English. Yes, it is true. A language has taken thousands or the millions of years to get in a progress. When we say Stone Age time, there we find in the caves there is a paintings, means the silent language or the sign language they are using. So means what we are speaking or what we are writing, it is in a very modernist style or method to express. Otherwise, you see the back in a history, we find that the thousands years ago, when people are not able to speak but still they are writing somewhere or making a drawing, means they are able to make a communication. But the language or the writing skill or communication, it is a very modern thing. So let's see. The first thing to realize is that language is a primarily something that is spoken, not written. Friends, that's the difference. That's why when we learn some other language, what we make a mistake. First, we start writing. We never go with then speaking. So that's why in India, particularly, we never the 90% case of English, we see that the student not able to speak the English language properly. Why? Just because the hesitation or the afraid to be going to be in a wrong pronunciation. That's why. But they are a perfect very well when it's come about writing. Why? Just because they first learn something. After that, they will try to speak. That's why they make kind of fumblings. So that was the base. That's why, particularly from my side, I always prefer that a student has start first speaking. After that, afterward they have to look for an writing. So that is the way to overcome on your afraid, and you can win make a perfect to understand the languages. The written language is a actual record of oral language. Yes, like see the ancient time Ramayana and Mahabharata or that Vedic times culture in India, that people are orally tell the stories. But in a later one, when that paper and the pens were invented, after that we have making a record. So means it is the record of the language, not the else. It is also a fact that the most important development in the history of the language took place at a period when the documentary evidence from which there might be study is a non-existence. Therefore, it is difficult to give information or exact idea about the process of development of the language. However, it is present for chief theories hold the field. They are as follow. Means it is most difficult to give an idea or that within a documentary that how much older one or the history is it impossible or it get a little bit trouble when someone says about the history of language. We have a longest history, but if someone says the history of language, then it's going to be a little bit problematic. So here there is the first Bow-Wow theory. The reason Bow-Wow theory is the first, let's see first, and after that I will give some of the argument. This theory holds that the earliest speech was produced by the man attempting to imitate some characteristic sound of the creature or the object to which he was referring. From him, the thing that distinguish as a dog from any of the other animal he see is its a bark. It is the animal that says bow wow, and so very soon he began to call it a bow wow theory. Why the dog and the sound bow wow? Just because the when the human began, a human race was began, at that time the first interaction with the animal was dog. We find that in ancient times people are very close with the dog. So that's why the first interaction with the human race and the animal, the connection or the bond is dog. They are the closest to the humans. There are a certain more example of such a imitation on the like snake kind in ancient European languages. The word for water has a liquid sound. In the however, this is an expectation about the development of the English language. There are not exact record to prove it. Yes, as I previously tell that it is impossible to prove that how much are longer one. Ding dong theory. The second theory is a nickname. Ding dong theory is usually associated the name of the imitate German and philologist Max Muller, though others have also adapted it. This theory holds that the beginning of the language are to be found in the sense of thought, a sense of rhythm, which seems to have been intent in man form of very primitive stage, and by which he is related to the rest of the universe. Means the rhythm we have, the tempo, whenever we sing the drama or that some of the poetry, they have their own rhythm or that rhyme, they are ongoing. According to Max Muller, that was the theory to find out the correction or connection in the languages which he was looking for. Means the rhyme which seems to have been intent in a man from a very primitive stage, and by which he is related to the rest of the universe, which is essential rhymatical. Again, here there is a imitation, but the imitation of a movement rather than sound. Man has a tendency to imitate a certain movement found in the nature, like the stream of water, trees, other as an object, and a straight to the make such a object on the base of a movement. This theory would thus connect the origin of a speech with the same impulse with the a later date give rise for a savage war dance. Perhaps there is also some connection with the habit of whistling and accompaniment to manual process. The Po theory. Then there is the theory which trace all form of speech utterness back to emotional interaction evoked by pain, surprise, pleasure, want, etc. And the language develop and on such a reaction. This has become known as the Po theory. At first, Po theory is just a exclamation implying contempt or disgust, but later it become a broadest expression of emotional reaction. Like some of the expression come on our face. Sometimes we're not able to speak or explain, but our face will detect whatever going on in our mind. We reflect on our face like a kathak or kuchipudi kind of a dance form. There we see that the whole thing will come on your face. Yeah, you making a move with your hands also, but your gesture or that you are angry or not, it will come on your face, or particularly on your on the movement of your eye. People will think that it is in the mood of anger, love, pleasant, whatever that nine type of moods we have defined in Indian culture that will represent in a dance platform by only in the movement of face. So the Bow theory is connect with that way. On that sense means they're saying that the expression has also in a that language, that the connection bonding. Why? Just because at the end we understand what actually was going on the stage. The gesture theory. And finally, there is the theory advanced by William Wand and the later on restart by us, Sir Richard Paget. Sir Richard Paget, in his book Human Speech, which we may call a gesture theory, the earliest method of a communication, according to Wand, was by sign and gesture made with the hands, such as a language was a natural and spontaneous. And even today, gesture helps a word to communicate effectively. Now, point out our theories. Every gesture or the hand is accompanied by a corresponding movement of the tongue, lips, and toe. Later on, the hand gesture remain there to be support of the tongues. So that was the history, the origin of the English language that we try to see here. First, that it is impossible according to the uh, critics or the peoples, it is most impossible to define the history of language. But after that they will give us some of the theories which is connected, like Bow theory means the human interaction with the animal. The first animal was dog, so the sound which the dog was making, and first time human are able to listen that sound and they try to communicate or interpret it. So that's why that is the Bow theory. And the sounds, first time we identify the sounds. So on that, the ding dong theory, which is talks about a rhyme, and the concept was given by Max Muller. He says that the rhyme is the most important thing than other. And if we see Po theory, which is talks about an expression, that particularly it focus on the expression, gesture, position, or the feelings come on your face, like pain, surprise, pleasure, that kind of feeling. The gesture theory explained by the two critics, William Wand and Sir Richard Paget. So in that we see that after later on the hand will be still there, but they were added tongue, lips, and toes. Whatever that means, some of the movement will come on our body side. That is also known as the language. That is the gesture language. Yeah. So these are the theories and some of the basic idea about the history which we try to look in this first uh, unit 1's first point, or the second point, secondary point, which is talks about origin of language.